Otto von Bismarck had already succeeded in crushing the Austrian Empire in 1866 and was a leader behind German unification. In order to fully unify the Germanic states, he had to remove the French influence from the south. Meanwhile, Louis Napoleon was trying to crush the Prussian threat from the east and restore the French Empire once present during Napoleonic times. The vacated Spanish throne left Prussian influence the dominating power in Spain. Fearing a Spanish-Prussian alliance, the French sent an ambassador to convince the Prussian prime minister to stop the prince from seizing power. The ambassador demanded that the minister force the Prussians out of Spain, which he agreed to, but the French demanded an official apology for the incident from King William. Bismarck knew that to spark war, he had to worsen relations between the countries and convince the Germanic states that they must unify against French oppression.
His Majesty the King thereupon refused to receive the ambassador again, and had the latter informed by the adjutants of the day that His Majesty had no further communication to make to the ambassador.
The Prussian public felt insulted by the ambassador and demanded war. Similarly, the French public saw the message as a direct attack on French pride because an adjutant is a low-level soldier, the person who gave the ambassador the message. Bismarck pitted the Germanic states against the French and won Southern support. In 1870, France declared war on Prussia, but quickly lost a series of battles to the more disciplined armies of Germany. The French army now split into two and to defend the areas of Metz and Spitzerden on the southeastern border. By August, the Prussian forces were threatening to lay siege to Metz, but with the arrival of new French battalion, as a relief to the stress, proved that France had no chance in the war because within days they were decimated. The French forces fled to Sedan, where they were met by the overwhelming Prussian forces. This decisive battle marked the end for the French, as their leader, Louis Napoleon, general of the battalions, was captured during the defeat. Otto von Bismarck took the captured Napoleon and 80,000 French soldiers prisoners after the surrender of Sedan. French citizens, after hearing the news, rebelled against the monarchical government and formed a new republic. Within a month, Prussian forces were outside of Paris and laid siege to the city without really any opposition. The French Republic leader fled the city by balloon and formed a new army of provisional troops to fight the Prussians, but it was wiped out in days. The siege lasted months, and the French citizens were reduced to eating cats and dogs. Bismarck had finally achieved his goal, and the Iron Chancellor, with assistance from the Germanic princes, declared William of Prussia Emperor of Germany. The two sides formed an armistice, but due to the unpopularity of it amongst French citizens, the Republic was overthrown by the Paris Commune, a revolutionary socialist government. The war continued as the French forces were tasked with defeating the socialists by the Prussians. The Prussians demanded war reparations to be paid from France. Lands from Alsace-Lorraine and large amounts of money were given. This later led to the extreme hatred of France for Germany and greatly affected the imperialistic and nationalistic colonial expansions in the 1900s. The political stability of Europe was broken when Germany became united, and this resulted in the alliance between France, Britain, and Russia to stop their new formed nation. The alliance and intense nationalism were the chief causes of the Great War.